manifest some fuck shit in your life. That's right. You know, pay attention to the people, places, and names, and the state of being that put you in. Shit. Yeah, okay. You be on that fuck 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 shit. Nigga, on that fuck shit. What? On that fuck shit. On that fuck shit. What? On that fuck shit. Yeah, okay. You be on that fuck shit. Yeah, okay. You be on that fuck shit. Yeah, okay. You be on that fuck shit. Yeah, and it's you I don't fuck with. It's your word I can't trust in. Cause you be lying all the time about some fuck shit. Nigga, you be on some fuck shit. Yeah, tricking on a bitch you ain't fuck yet. Pilot man, bitch, and I'm not gon' land. Try to rob a nigga, you ain't got a plan. Don't run up being stiff, I might squeeze a clip. But how you be a bitch while you feed the kids? See, that's some fuck shit from a fuck nigga. I can't fuck with you, I don't give a fuck, nigga. I grew up around some niggas who was very rude. You the type to tell your girl your each and every move. Don't match the nigga you just smoke a blunt with. On a real nigga, you be on some fuck shit. Yeah, okay, you be on that 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 fuck shit. Nigga, on that fuck shit. Flex, on that fuck shit. On that fuck shit. Flex, on that fuck shit. Yeah, okay, you be on that fuck shit. Yeah, okay, you be on that fuck shit. Bitch, I mean everything that I fucking say. It's like music, bitch, I been on that fucking train. But I don't need a click, I do shit by my damn face. No award show, but bitch, yeah, I got them rings. See, Playboys keep it real, got these niggas hating. Never trust one who lie about their situation. You think it's all good, yeah, the block is fun. But don't be letting certain niggas know you got a gun. Know when you gotta fight and when you gotta run. House party full of bitches, they done shot it up. Hanging with too many niggas, hard to separate. The real from the fake, but don't hesitate. See all you in-house niggas get extorted. Dropped out of high school cause wasn't shit important. Yeah, watch the niggas who you run with. I'm by myself cause I don't be on no fuck shit. Yeah, okay, you be on that 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 fuck shit. Nigga, on that fuck shit. On that fuck shit. On that fuck shit. On that fuck shit. Yeah, okay, you be on that fuck shit. Yeah, okay, you be on that fuck shit.
Don't go no further than that. You don't go no further than that. That's the anthem for anybody you around somebody right now. They on that beep stuff. Always on that beep stuff. You know what I'm saying? It can be a family, a friend, an associate, a coworker, someone you put in that little box that you wish you never met. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I meet this individual. They ain't nothing on somebody. Before we even get into this energy right now, to let you know, you just can't be thinking about everything because we are one. We already know it's like two different worlds out here and things of that nature. So we are one. And it's two different sides to things. But for the most part, you need to understand what side you on so you can have things clear. So it don't blind things and blur the lines between your creativity and your motivation, no matter where you at or what level you sit on when it comes to you being outside or inside of the industry. But before we even break all of those energies down, I want to create some type of disclaimer. What energies we dealing with right now? So you know the moon just went in the goddamn Sagittarius. This is something everybody need to know. You know what I'm saying? You might feel like, oh, this got to do with anything. Yeah, everything to do with everything. You know what I'm saying? It's like the moon is like the owl right now. Got the eye on you. And it's the energy that you're trying to either expound, expand, or escape out of. And for the most part, it's going to be coming from an emotional state. So if you don't know what you trapped in emotionally, this might be thing you try to escape out of, not knowing that's what you actually doing, and then it filter out as your actions, and it look like you doing extreme things for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful when it comes to that energy too. But for the most part, when it comes to expanding, expounding, when it comes to your experiences, right? Expanding, expounding, or what's the other one? What's the other one? Uh, uh, but for the most part, there's like three circumstances: expanding and expounding, and then it's gonna filter out through your experience. Escaping, yeah. So for the most part, you got expanding, expounding, or escaping. But they're going to be formulated from the equilibrium energy of what you are experiencing. So that you know that exit from one door and going into another one. So there's always going to be a form of enter and exit, expansion, contraction, distance, closeness, brightness, dimness. You see what I'm saying? So that's the external, internal, yang yin. For the most part, you want to look at it from a generalized perspective. The moon represent internal yin, sun represent external, what things appears to be. Maybe a little frustration when you start to go for your actions due to the fact of not clearing what you're thinking, how people see things and how they feel, because there's a lot of emotion. When the feeling condense and become the emotion, remember, seeing is the fire, but then it condense and become multiple fires, feelings, multiple ideas that all those clouds condense and become one rain puddle, and then that's the emotion. But for the most part, if you don't understand that as a mechanism and a process in that order, you could be lost in one or the other. You could be lost in the process of your vision, fire, future, not understand the present circumstance you in, and the past that still may create tainted energy around you even persevering into the future or whatever the case may be. You could be lost into the water. So the condensed version is like a cloudy day. You're not able to see what's ahead. You're not able to see how you appear to look during a situation or your expression or whatever. And you only could see past, or you can't even see past the emotion that you are in, the water puddle or whatever. Then you could be caught in everything in between, the air and the earth. You could be caught and lost in the fragments of the light rays that condensed and became water, but that little transition, so it's that steam, and you could be caught in the many thoughts out of that idea before it becomes an emotion, and before it becomes a feeling, and after it already became a vision. So for the most part, you could get caught in limbo and become an airhead. And at this point, your judgment or your decisive energy is all over the place. So even when you look like you're decisive, it's about things that's predicated on indecisiveness. And even when it's time to make a real decision, that's when you're going to experience you self-projecting the most energy you in already, just purely indecisiveness or whatever. But you could be caught in one or the other. So for the most part, you just need to know separating these things and seeing these things for what they are. You got your energy that you already in, and you got what you already competing with, aka what we all create together. Teamwork makes the dream work. All of our minds, energies condense, and you had your time during that particular of the year. Your light ray. That's why your spirit expand every time your light ray does a full cycle and you experience that sun, or even when it comes into the faster moving cycle, the moon. And when you experience them in the same position in the sky that they were in when you was born, that means something beyond all this divination and this other exaggeration that we're, you know what I'm saying, putting on the baggage of what we're calling astrology and astronomy. When you look at it from an essence like that, you know, you can kind of look at yourself, your mind, and your actual body, just like that branch or that tree outside that wants to deteriorate and get ready to die during fall and winter, and get ready to be born again and go ahead and live a life, aka spring and summer. So for the most part, what make you think if you do the same thing mentally, will make you think that your physical representation will stop just because y'all get lost in whatever y'all think death is and the expiration date, and you might be a person that did so much negative stuff, you want to justify that, oh, it's because we only live once type energy or whatever the case may be. But yet there wouldn't be no existence in life where morality is derived from for that to actually mean something. So there's a reason to why we feel like whether tomorrow comes for some of us or not, hopefully for most people and things of that nature, because I hate speaking on that, right? There's a reason why we feel like second to second, minute to minute, hour to hour, there's a certain way of going about the day and the month and the year, other than people who just crash out. And then we can see that crash out energy based upon not being backed by no moral system. And their morals is all over the place or in the back seat somewhere, especially if they was raised by individuals who have morals. You know, a lot of these people just being rebellious energies. A lot of these people being rebellious energies and things of that nature, and then it plays out in other areas unwarranted and harm other individuals that they meet in life and stuff like that. And a lot of these individuals that may have even put trust into these people and stuff like that, now we in a situation where it's like hurt people, but we're experiencing a shared dispositor. So for the most part, this is why meanings and reasonings before you feel like you're comfortable involving yourself into something is going to be most important, due to the fact of the sun and the moon sharing the same dispositor, whatever you say that word, which is Jupiter. So Jupiter represents, or just that pocket in space, and the angles that they have create frustrations when we can't wrap our minds around a meaning and reasoning behind something, so we can extract the wisdom and knowledge and go ahead and expand, escape, or expound on an experience. Expound just means adding on to it. Escaping means separating from it in some way, shape, or form. So that's when you're thinking about your experiences, expounding on it, or escaping from it. But those experiences in general is what allowing us to extract the wisdom and knowledge and place new meanings and reasonings on these situations in general. So for the most part, it allows us to already be the teacher or the learner and give that advice to someone else and be able to be more aware of the next situation that we're going through, so we don't make the same mistake. So it's almost like giving us that type of energy when it comes to seeing and feeling and dealing with the feelings and the emotions. And that's where the sun and the moon is at the moment. And we could get frustrated because we might not see things for what they actually are, while still having to deal with the feelings and the emotions that condense from it. So you have to look at it from that attribute. And if you're in the right side of the universe right now, you could kind of take this and transmute it into creativity, creative purposes and stuff like that. If you're on the wrong side of energy, you're still going to be using these things just for things that's detriment and things that you think you have to do with your own energy, especially if your stars don't align. You'll be all over the place just to try to find safe havens and protection from vulnerable circumstances and stuff. For an example, let's say if you know these energies or whatever the case may be, and you have already calculated, okay, since the moon represents receiving, anytime the moon is in the same space in the sky that the sun is in during that season, or whatever the case may be, it's going to play out that quality just from a receiving energy. So these are things I'm piggybacking with as far as angles when I'm attacking angles, and that angle is beyond me in my particular. So for the most part, if I use this, I'm more over a situation than someone who may be in their own bias, in their own micro sun and moon angle. And then for the most part, I will be able to see something from a mile away, whether it's positive or negative. So if you understand, boom, Sagittarius represent, you know what I'm saying, mutable fire, being mutable and being able to adapt to your own or other people's ways of seeing and feeling about things. So fire represents seeing and feeling. Pisces represent mutable water, being mutable and being able to adapt to your own and other people's ways of dealing with the emotions and feelings, or whatever the case may be, right? Then you know these things could vary. Because now when you get into these energies and stuff like that, you know, Jupiter may represent teaching qualities or learning. Pisces may represent creative attributes or being in a delusion. Now, if you understand these things, you are aware. That automatically separates you from it, but that awareness is that connection to it. Your mind substance with that, not you being all in it and then letting it use you. And then you think you the mind, and then you might make a mistake and be like, I need a straight jacket because that wasn't me. Now you're able to take that energy and direct it towards, if you're a productive person. So if you're creative, I like to make music. So let's say if you got writer's block, this is how you never have writer's block, because you're dealing with something outside of you. So now you know how to transmute that energy into something that deals with music. And depending on what kind of artist you is, you know what subject matter to filter it through. So now if you understand these energies, you're like, okay, this got to be a song about teaching somebody about creativity, or this got to be a song about what I learned about something I went through an experience that I was able to piggyback that inspiration off of. So any type of allegory or parable or whatever the case may be, you can make an allegory to something. Boom, that's natural Pisces energy. Then you can expand something or expound or something, or give something an expression that it could give other people the idea of how to escape something. Whether it's a mental concept, it could be a relationship they're in or whatever. Anything that it seemed like you got a better idea, and you, especially if you give lyrics about you went through a similar situation, and if it got any type of sentiment of a story of you was involved in something you wanted to get out of, and the narrative around it is how you got out of it, and you did get out of it, hit song right now. Hit song. You see what I'm saying? And all it would do would accumulate as the sun and moon start to go into other energies, and then it becomes relatable in pockets that you're not sensitive to it because you're not spiritual. It's always a happening going on. It doesn't always have to be tangible or physical or in front of you yet, but these things come from things. You know, light condense become cloud, cloud condense become air scatter, and then rain particles. And then, you know, once it be on the ground long enough, you know, this is what's creating moldy and smoky. So this is where earth coming from in general. So you have to understand it's a process, and you have to believe in the process. And a lot of y'all don't respect the process because you always lost in the expectation, and someone who went through the process but got the expectation. So you in some energy of wanting something fast, And then that energy play out in other areas of your life when it's time to put the boots on the ground or your female Jesus sandals on the ground. But then you coming up with more ideas of how you get the shortcut or the bias. You know what I'm saying? Due to or the monetary gain. And then you want to step aside unrenowned to what that person actually went through to build up that energy to get that in some way, shape, or form. So you would just take the accesses what you think they already got and then apply it to something else and then try to create a shortcut and then actually mess up your own energy. Because here's the thing, a lot of times we do a lot of things within those processes that we'd be going through that would be like a week, a month, some people years or whatever like that. And then when you do stumble across the right way to go about something, it'd be a lot of things that you built upon trying to go in that other direction that play out as tainted energy, kind of block you from fully maximizing the potential of whatever you just stumbled over that's more for you. So that's why y'all have to be careful of, this is that concept before it's physical, it's a mental thing, and it can play out in all areas. It even play out in this area when we say all money ain't good money. It could be a thing, pardon me, it could be an expertise you're good at. So you stumble across, based upon networking in some way, shape, or form, someone that could give you money for that or whatever the case, right? And then you like later on you might stumble across your expertise being able to use, like how they say I'm getting ready to take my talents down to South Beach or whatever, how LeBron James started that or whatever, right? But for the most part, boom, you stumble across that and it look like it's a go and your expertise is just right for that position, but everything you was just getting paid for, which your expertise was directed for what you got paid for, might be, you might have been part of the opposing corporation or something like that or however. So now it's taintedness, and you could kind of look at that being a better situation that's low-key sabotaged in some way, right? Based upon everything you thought you was doing because of that monetary gain, or they was the first one to cut the check. And you ain't know, all you had to do was put in a little bit more work, and the other company that you really wanted would have figured out about you next week. They just ain't had their eyes on you yet or figured out as faster than them. But here you go, taking that money, and here we get into the energy that you in before you even got to the money, right? You're in that spirit already that manifests in a bunch of areas, not just that one. It's just in this example, it's going to play out as you're getting ready to manifest an actual situation where you take some money and then you're going to realize all money ain't good money, because all that money you took damaged the ability for you to make more money with that next corporation based upon all the taintedness that came with it and what you had to do. You know what I'm saying? It might have been Burger King and McDonald's. I'm just using this as an example, right? And then for the most part, you got paid because you do a whole bunch of Tom off Subway, good commercial selling, Snake Oil Man selling, or whatever the case. Then for the most part, you on all these commercials bashing the other corporation. Then it's another institution within the corporation that more involved into other things that you can make more money with your expertise, but so you weren't really thinking that way. And then when that door opened, you think you go into it, and then they attach or fund the corporation that you was at odds with, and they pulling up all these commercials like, look, damn, you was with them though. So now it's like, damn, we would like you, we like your expertise though, but we can't really do it that way. And boom, good example right there, being tainted. You see what I'm saying? Just in business and stuff. So you have to understand this in real life. All money, all energy. Look at it like esoteric currency. All energy ain't good energy, because you could be guilty by association to a certain degree. So you got to be real careful, right? And especially when we start to talk about the moon being a Sagittarius and the sun being a Pisces, you could get lost in seeing and how something feel and how something is seen, and then get lost once it condenses and become the emotion and think that that's what's true about it. And you might not see the emotion for what it is. And if you react to that emotion or whatever the case may be, it could put you in a sticky situation that, once this moon passed, now you got to play moons behind to try to escape out of something that you manifested at when the moon was in Sagittarius. So y'all got to be aware of that too. It just plays out as extremity. Sagittarius wants you to expand, expound, or escape. And sometimes that take expression, observing, learning, teaching, or experiencing in general, or whatever. But, expanding, escaping, or expounding. And it has to look like Pisces. So you expanding, escaping, or expounding on some type of creative endeavor. You know what I'm saying? Some type of emotional persuasion that you may be in. You may be lost into an emotion. So that's a form of a delusion. You may be lost in how you think somebody else feel about you. Or you may be lost in how your feelings is about a situation and not seeing a situation for what it is, so you can have the right, clear, sunny day emotional stance on it. So when it bends in at the next result, your actions, you have the right adrenaline and the right action towards that person, place, or thing, scenario, circumstance, or situation. You know what I'm saying? But when you're in the wrong spiritual space, you create the wrong mentality, the wrong cloud, the wrong spaceship, and then you fly into the wrong direction and go into the wrong organs. So you start reacting the wrong way with your body. And then once you start to externalize those actions, here you go making the wrong decisions when it comes into your interactions with people, places, and things, and circumstances and situations. You see what I'm saying? So peak game. Now we getting ready to get into why all artists shouldn't put all your eggs in the basket when it, and we're going to separate too, because there's some artists that already know what I'm talking about, but they're on the side of what here's the thing. I'm not even totally against it if it's used for positive purposes. Ain't nothing wrong with payola. Ain't nothing wrong with paying platforms and things of that nature to speak of you or what you got going on and things of that nature. But there is a thin line between colonist tactics being played and things being played genuine. And here's the thing. When we in a new world right now, everyone from the people, the audience, the artists trying to make it, the artists with the payola, we have to be careful with lines we're crossing. We're crossing internally before we express our external actions. There's something happening when it comes into our meanings and reasonings to why we do something before we do it. That's getting looked at, and I'm not going to keep explaining because that type of awareness, because everybody not really down with that. Everybody not spiritual. People don't want to hear God. People don't want to hear this, that, and third. But let's look at it like this: how seasons change. There's other forms of seasonal changes. We can see a tree grow and deteriorate, and then we see broader versions: spring, summer, fall, and winter. So there's a lot of these circumstances going on also, right? So when it comes into the realm of our thought process and the meanings and reasonings that bend in and become our adrenaline before they become actions, those are seasonal shifts also, right? You also, when it comes to your blood flow and your hormones and things of that nature, your blood regenerate every 3 to 6 months also. So if you got stale, stagnated blood and your blood ain't moving or whatever, you got overlaps in blood, old blood mixing with new blood, create blood clots and things of that nature. Now you got a doctor telling you need to exercise or whatever, and that's the reason you got arthritis in the left toe knuckle. But at some point, right, these are all concepts to understand. You have to, ain't nothing constant but change, right? So when you're looking at it from that aspect, right, here's how you could separate from your biases that you may be lost in for monetary gain or whatever, and see how this always been playing out in your life. Always, anyway. There may have been a thought form you've been holding on to that may have been on a large percentage scale getting a whole bunch of validation that you start to extremely act on, and you start to reach those forks in the road where that way of thinking, the external world is showing you that way of thinking on a moral system you built on it may not necessarily be right, and you may have been lost or clouded in the judgment of the other things and just justified that it has something to do with that thought form. A lot of y'all go through this every day, where you may have came up or created a moral system in your mind that helped you with certain situations you got over. Then you start to go through other situations in your life, and let's say it's something that you actually want to do, right? But you got a certain moral system that won't allow you to do certain things, and you kind of set that up in your mind like, yeah, when I do these things, the right things happen for me in my life, and when I don't do these things, I could just that I adjusted in my mind as negative in this moral system. When I don't do those things, when I do those things, things go wrong, or whatever the case may be. Then there's going to be situations you start to experience other people doing the things that you consider wrong, yet still getting in a situation that you think if you do these other things in your mind, that's what gets you in good situations. Now you start questioning yourself. How is this person doing the negative things that I don't do, right? And then the good things I'm doing to make me think that I'm supposed to be in that situation is not putting me in a situation or whatever, right? You'll start questioning. That's when you're in those situations of having to realize that moral system may was just sufficient Or it could clearly be just what you made up by your lack of comprehension of what you think what got you over that last situation or whatever. And if you too far into that energy sometimes, let's say you attach a lot of other things in the external world that people may have taught you and Walt Disney may have taught you. You may have a tie of a religion to that moral, tied something else to that moral. Now you about to start questioning God. Now you about to start that or Jesus or something like that. You about to start there with Jesus. You this moral I got or whatever, because now you attach that to it or whatever. And now Jesus ain't got nothing to do with it. And in this case, when the spirit and the mind and the body is in this position, you can't blame no colonists at this point. You can't blame no colonists. You can't blame no Europeans. If you are a European, you can't blame anything external or what you think going on or whatever the case may be. Can't blame no agents or whatever. This is a person that has to be on their own journey, no matter the ethnic group or whatever the case, and learn that you was just applying too many external things. And there may have been times that it was justified as validation, and there may have been times it wasn't, but you wasn't seeing it that way because you was too lost into the validation times of it. And then now you're reaching a time where it's burnt out. It's no longer useful. It's no longer. So that takes us back to me being a master orator. You went through that season. You went through that shift, and it's no longer useful. It went through a birth, life, deterioration, and that death process. You didn't want to see it. You didn't want to let that moral go. You didn't want to let that thought form go. You didn't want to let that concept go. And then for the most part, sometimes people die with their concepts. And when we talk about die, we're not even talking about physically. A person could be letting on to success, but that thought form or that ego, whatever the case may be, they die with it. And it is separate from any successful route or any situation they could have been in positive or whatever, or anything they had to get over when it was time to ask for help, but they were so much in their self-centered or selfish energy, they don't even know how to even ask for it, yet be in a position to have other people think that that's what they need. Then I was about to say mother, but then an individual bury themselves in their own hole. You know what I'm saying? So you're dead to the world, still walking around. You know what I'm saying? You're just a walking dead. We got television shows for it and everything. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people is in that space right now, still around their friends, still around their family, still getting up, clocking in and clocking out every day at work or whatever the case may be. But y'all, if you a good spirit in your mind, spaceship, and in your body, your physical flesh, you could feel that vibe. You could feel that energy. You know the vibes. You know that's a person only have this amount of time of a conversation with this person, or this only kind of conversation, or I can't open myself up to this person that way, or you know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. And when a person don't know that, you know when you're spiritual and you around another person who don't know that, and they don't have that sense, and they start interacting with another person that don't know that. You can see a crash out get ready to happen at the stage where it's at the best time, where it's at that week where it's all good. Then it ain't the Jay-Z lyric yet. It was just all good just a week ago. You know it's getting ready to be the Jay-Z lyric at the week where it's all good. You already see, like, yeah, I see. They too chatty patty. You know, that to make it simple. You know what I'm saying? Just to make it simple. Just to make it simple, because everything ain't spooky. It's stuff we do every day. But ain't nothing else telling you these type of things but your spirit and God. Who else you talking to? I'm saying a lot of y'all don't talk to yourselves enough anyway. That's y'all problem, stuff like that. So y'all depend on another person, and then you don't know we always self-projecting to a small degree. And some of y'all more than a small degree, a large degree. So you only attract other people who don't know how to talk to themselves. So it's just one retard leading another retard, and one retard might just be in the situation a little better than the other retard. So the other retard take that as gold. Y'all both trying to rob the bank. y'all both get ready to get out the halfway house. So it ain't really, it's just like one person probably get out earlier than the other. You know what I'm saying? One person may catch as many charges than the other. That don't mean one smarter than the other. But a lot of times, this is how y'all be, though. This is how y'all be. Like, this is how y'all be, like, sometimes. So y'all be having to chill out and stuff like that. But yeah, let's get into these energies, because a lot of times, y'all be needing advice. And even for the people that's on payola, this is something good for you to hear too, because you be needing advice. And look, this for future wise too. So everyone could start early. The sooner the better. You don't want to already be in a crash out space and already take this space. And then when you find gold, everybody looking at what you already did. And that's one of the reasons why you can't fully go to the maximum potential of this new goal that you're trying to do. Because this also is what, like, you know, heads at corporations need. Y'all need artists or creator, just let me be y'all creative director or whatever. People online need to be y'all creative director or whatever. I know y'all cheap, y'all ain't trying to pay nobody or whatever the case may be, but you look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, I don't want nobody, and I'm the type of individual, even though I had trolls, because anytime somebody try to do things over and over again, that's hatred and try to sabotage. I don't care if people lost in thinking it's a lie or whatever the case may be. No, the obvious and reality. We're in reality. We all adults. That's trying to sabotage somebody. And sabotaging somebody is trying to take funds away from them. And for the most part, online, it's purely on the basis of stranger energy. Nobody should be doing that or butthurt in that kind of energy, or even if it's a joke. No one should ever be doing that. So we're in real times at this moment, 2026. So a lot of adults got to get out of energy that, 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds think to do, and that energy will only be directed on Roblox anyway. You know what I'm saying? When we online, it's adult. You know what I'm saying? So first of all, we have to understand that. But, and when we get to corporations, stuff like that, you see what I'm saying? Hopefully you're not on no payola thing where you're paying a lot of K bots to do things. Then you stumble across some gold where you no longer have to pay bots. You stumble across someone online that could make your website or whatever, or even YouTube, more lit or whatever, to the point that when we even talk about things like Netflix, it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. All you need is like somebody like me who good at business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, that they could just have their own world of that. So they don't even have to talk about the version of everybody else's in when it comes to business, entertainment, education, religion, and politics, right? Therefore, it'd be like a whole system. You need someone who know how to correlate and craft a system on a website. For an example, right? It ain't Netflix. It's not about getting someone to bring their YouTube audience to Netflix. It's about bringing a creator over there who know how to create a Netflix experience you only can get on Netflix. Not you so lost in capitalizing that you get someone hot on YouTube and then you want the audience of YouTube to get on Netflix. You need creative directors. You see what I'm saying? So if it's going to be like that, fund Netflix through YouTube. That Netflix has a YouTube page, so people can only be through that Netflix filtering system still on YouTube, and then built on something that the Netflix can do on its own, or get a creator on there that know how to make an engagement, make a poll, make challenges, make rewards and stuff like that. Because if YouTube paid, that's like things I used to do. All I would have to do is get on there, make rewards, and I'm a teacher, make people have to study something to win that money reward or whatever the case may be, create situations where the audience can get involved with whatever that they're expressing, has a subsidiary platform through Map platform on there, whatever the case may be. Already it's a word of mouth. People on YouTube will start talking like, oh, it's this new thing you can do on Netflix that you can't do on YouTube. Once you get that talk, you good to go. Once you get talk like that, you know what I'm saying? But if, let's say, the reason why I'm making this as an example, let's say another corporation that's not Netflix, Tubi, or whatever the case may be, stumble across that gold. It ain't got to be me. I'm just saying. I'm just using that as an example. It could be anything, a new way of presenting movies or whatever, right? But they was on the payola of paying a whole bunch of bots to get on all the Netflix platforms to sabotage it in some type of way, right? Even if people don't know it was them doing it, they got that stain. And it takes us back to, like I said, I don't want to bring up God or whatever, because I know everybody ain't spiritual. People, atheists, we know when it gets to God and these titles and certain specifics of religion, that get to a crazy argument. So for the most part, all I can say is the meaning and the reason of why you think you had to do the payola to sabotage Netflix is going to be the reason that you think, because we can't physically see it, or it's unapparent, or you might not come across a person like my channel, so you're just around the average people in your algorithm online who you listen to or in real life, right? To the point that you still not going to reach where Netflix tried to reach all that sabotage you was trying to do. And when you stumble across some gold that look like it's better than Netflix, it's going to be something that seemed like it don't work. And like I said, I want to go back to saying, oh, I got something to do with God. Or is this a shift? Yo, that thought pattern is going through a season shift or whatever the case may be. And it's just like you're tainted. You got to, and it will be a way that somebody from Netflix or somebody who was watching Netflix know And when we online, this is everybody's personal pages. So people trying to understand things themselves and express themselves. It's going to be a person to be like, y'all know what? I think Tubi was had the K-bots, and that's why every time we was getting on Netflix, the numbers was low, and then the people we subscribe to not popping up no more and stuff like that and things. And like I'm telling you that it'll be somebody who figure that out. It'll be somebody who starts saying, yeah, Tubi do that, and then for the most part, you will stumble across some gold that's better than Netflix, but now you got to deal with that. You got to do mad damage control. That might take years to get out of and stuff, and then by that time, it's another thing popping, another thing popping, another thing popping, because attention span and time and money is going fast right now. So, and the creator energy is at an all-time high. People know how to direct it in the right area. That's at an all-time high. It's just, you can either get capitalized and colonized at the moment, and because you didn't know what you had, and then once you already got colonized and got that check, you start reaching all your gold and start seeing the possibilities of where it could go, where your money can't go and get from it now no more though. You got to recoup. You know what I'm saying? Then there's going to be times where other artists feel like, I need the system because that's how I can even get my foot in to take the other step or whatever. Then there's going to be a whole bunch. See, we all in limbo right now. Everyone. From ain't no middle class no more. It's just lower class, higher class. And it ain't always this with money. It's a mental thing also. Even when it comes to artists. You can either be a broke, unknown artist and you could just come up and just stumble across something, a hit, or meet the right person or whatever, or get on the right platform or whatever, and then you could be the richest at the moment and just crash out, put all your money in something that's a dud because you're still trying to practice traditional ways or whatever the case. So ain't no middle grounds. Everybody on the same level. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter if you already rich or if you poor. Everybody on the same level. You could be rich right now, use all your money for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? You could be poor right now and work with the little that you got and come up. You know what I'm saying? And take the whole crowd off of people that's using money and then might use it for the energy, engineering and stuff like that. And then I want to make this clear too, right? Ain't nothing wrong with payola if you're doing it the right way. Ain't nothing wrong with paying, platforms and things of that nature to speak and stuff like that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But for the most part, it ain't what's done, it's how it's done. And when we got too many narratives being used and it ain't genuine, then for the most part, that's when it becomes a problem. But look, peep game, right? Now, it's a difference between the artists that pay for these things and the artist that has to fight against these things. And within the industry, this is understood already. And based on the team, label, and payola amount, right? Like a person's budget and stuff like that, right? This makes the artists that pay for these things to be the first you see, or the first artist that's forced on you, or the first person that they put onto the audience in hopes it manifests into reality by the amount of propaganda created around the artist via payola or whatever the case. So they place the artist in a lot of situations or whatever the case may be. Now, here's the thing when it comes to you agents or handlers or labels and stuff when it comes to this situation, right? If you go too hard, there is a such thing as going too hard, and there's a such thing as you ain't supposed to go too cold turkey no matter what you start, even if you start on the wrong end. Don't go cold turkey, ease out. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case. These are just qualities in the world that has its own essence, and if you plan it out in your own biases, if you're on the wrong side of the energy using that, it doesn't matter what you're doing it for. It can mess things up. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. There is a such thing of going too far where a person start to appear forced. So we don't want to look like it's a person auditioning, campaigning, and things of that nature. That's like a person is looking very what they call that is looking I forget what they call that. It's whatever they call it. J. Cole, what he doing right now. It look very action, lights, camera, action. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Shout out to the Lost Boys and Mr. Cheeks. I'm saying, but it look role playish. You know what I'm saying? It look role playish. Y'all know that word I'm looking for though. But it look role playish or whatever. I call it virtual signaling rapping, where you can do that everywhere or whatever. And here's the thing that causes a distaste. Once a spirit is directed towards something and their esoteric currency, their awareness is put on something, right? It automatically plays out as a fulfilled energy, and then you want to be fulfilled somewhere else. And these type of qualities, it'll play out in the physical world as a person catching on to something, not knowing how to explain it, but no longer liking the artist. So it don't matter how good the artist may be, even if they last rollout was A+ or B, right? It's gonna be some meaning and reasoning why it's not working this time that don't got nothing to do with the physical actions that's taken as it being successful for the last rollout. And that's the thing. You put a spirit and a resistant energy, something that they know that they were supposed to be aware of already, but you made them aware of it based upon what you did. So it play out in that area like that. And there's no spiritual teaching or classes except my channel that teach these things we all go through. You know what I'm saying? These are things we all go through. It ain't no words or nothing for these things. We be searching for it and think we got to people please better or impress better and stuff like that. And we be doing these things in our own pockets and get drained. And it'll be taken later on in the experience or later on in our life to realize we did a whole bunch of this stuff for no reason or for petty reasons or for reasons that may have mattered during that time, but it got a stain on you and make you think and feel about yourself a way that you don't really like later on in life and stuff like that. So these are things we can save ourselves from based upon knowing these are things these are the most important things of life that we experience, but we so lost into these things of life, we get lost into accidents, the synthetic version of these things, and not understanding these qualities, and then being all over the place internally, then having to act and only having external representations of people and books or institutions of how to go about something based upon a whole bunch of other people who didn't really know what they was doing and just learning as they go. So you got to understand, life is a real thing. You ain't got to always be in that situation and then cry boo-hoo after a mistake. You know what I'm saying? You don't always got to do that. Especially when you're intelligent. You ain't got to do so. I'm everybody's spiritual, intelligent, next door homie. You know what I'm saying? For real. For all my homies, homie slices, cornbreads, and females, and you know. Not to the people that try to sabotage me and eat off me and stuff like that and all secretly plotting, but you know, regular people, you know, everybody in real life around me and all the genuine people and stuff like that that I've met and stuff like that and things of that nature. So that. But for the most part, like I said, right? First of all, when we get into now the chats and stuff, this is what you artists need to understand. And this is if there is a such thing as going too far too, and damage control could be better when you ease your way out and not go cold turkey also. You know what I'm saying? And start to change your energies when it comes into the chats and a lot of these agents online and things of that nature, that a lot of them is not real people or they're real people controlling these things or using the webcam or whatever the case may be. Right now, here's the thing. Like, this is why I made a disclaimer. There's a lot of artists that already know about this that utilize it as a payola. And there's a lot of artists that they may not know, but this is what you're secretly fighting. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to what they call the dead internet concept or whatever the case may be, which is retarded in general, because I don't know why they separate the content creators from being the audience. The content creators is just a subsidiary to the real people in real life. They're people, brothers, sisters. So it ain't like content creators are celebrities and they're separate and people have to be in competition with them with their audience. That's not how online was pretty much predicated. But then again, that's how I guess the chat or the bots made it appear to be. So when you hear people bragging about, like, I know a lot of y'all seen these videos, dead online or dead internet or whatever the case may be. It's almost like it's a person talking about it, but they don't understand they're talking to an audience of people that it was done to, and people who was shadow banned and replaced. So you're only this is why I call it crash out. People who make videos like that, you're the people doing it. You're not presenting, you're teaching us this was going on and we need to have these conversations with our people and family and friends and stuff. You're presenting that you're the one involved in it. Why is your mind on that and why is you talking about it? So you must be the AI or the person behind it involved in it because this is your page. This is your social media page or whatever the case may be. So it ain't like you're replacing people and taking their audience. You're exposing this what y'all doing to the audience, and it just so happens online and social media pages, the audience is us. So you're just showing us what you're doing, not teaching us what's going on. So you're making us feel like you're trying to replace us and brag about it or whatever the case may be. So it's crash out. It's like somebody having a revolution and wanting to televise it or whatever the case may be. And that doesn't make sense. You don't tell the people what you're doing to the people and think you have an audience that's separate from the people. You know, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? So these people make videos like there's an audience for them. There ain't no audience for that. You're only telling people what people don't want to happen to their channel. You see what I'm saying? You're not making no audience like, oh, this is a good channel because this person is teaching us about dead internet. No, you're exposing this what you do and making us feel like we don't want that to happen to our channel. And what is you doing? You see what I'm saying? And why do you got that many views or whatever? So when we look at the comments and the chat, we automatically have the first thought of it's fake. Or it's their team doing that. That person video, the team, they all in it. See what I'm saying? So y'all have to come back to reality. That's what that point was. But there is a such thing as going too far where something just look like it's coming from that sentiment in general, no matter how a person do it. And once it's too much tainted energy around that, you're not even going to be able to do that in areas where it do work, especially when it comes into the music industry. And there ain't no new system yet. So payola is still there for old systems to be presented in the new world and online and things of that nature. But if you're part of a label or a system that's already known for that, your artist is going to suffer. See what I'm saying? And ain't nobody in the business of losing money. I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? I never heard that before. This is why y'all need creative directors. Because there's another thing too. Online made it possible for y'all to understand how many different thoughts there is. You need to know there's certain people who think certain things. My page is perfect for that. Y'all would never know it's people who think certain things like that. Yet it tap into those areas, you know, when you sit back and think certain things you think nobody else is thinking. So it ain't what we do, it's how we do it. I'm putting everybody in that space so you can know you ain't the only person that do that with yourself. We all got something God taught us and we all do it in our own way. I'm broadening the many abilities and different senses of knowing where's that at and how you could do that in many different pockets in your life. So anything we doing is just a filtering through a bias. But there's an essence way of it. And when you do it the essence way, your bias be colder than anybody else's. So it ain't what we do, is how we do it. You be able to do anything. Even if you can't do a cartwheel on stage, right on future beat, at right on time, like Chris Brown, it'll be something you bring to the table that people like you and what you get ready to do just as great. So you ain't got to play that game that someone else is better than. Because you ain't get ready to flip around no goddamn stage and dance better than Chris Brown. So you already know. So it ain't what we do is how we do it. So you always need to put more energy into that. You good. You know what I'm saying? Or you're just going to be competing with your damn self. You ain't going to never do no cartwheel front flip on those stages like Chris Brown. You give up now. Start something else now to make everybody spin on your knee or something like that. Everybody like, oh, that's just as good as something else brought to the world. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. Be yourself. God damn it. Oh, I'm saying this is energy. Everybody got to learn how to be more creative and teach how to teach. If you're an agent, teach how to be an agent. If you're an A&R, teach how to be an A&R. We all watching for that. We ain't watching for narratives. That's another thing too. Industry got to stop selling narratives right now. We're selling genuality in 2026. So what a person do, we want to hear them talk about that. We don't want to hear a person being used because they think they got an audience. Y'all gonna have to inflate. Y'all gonna have to pay for that. And after a while, that payola is gonna become more losing than gaining because you're paying for something to look like it's getting views and getting money, but you're paying money for it. That don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? You gotta transmute that in some way, because here's where you crash out, putting your eggs in a basket of someone online that may not be received the way you think they are received to the culture. You'll be making a mistake, and then it doesn't do nothing but make the system you're using look bad and might not be able to work future wise. So you got to be careful who y'all putting y'all eggs or y'all payola or y'all energy into, thinking that they have a hand over the culture and they could be crashing your stuff out because they don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? And they're not involved like that. For an example, right? Even if you are a DJ online, you supposed to have something that ain't got nothing to do with nothing else but DJ stuff first, an artist. You know what I'm saying? There's supposed to be someone online just as long as you that come through you. So it's just like record labels and artists that we respect because they brought somebody from their hood or brought another artist to them. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all can look at that. You might be an artist and you might be like, it's all about me. But time and time ago, you don't know how to put yourself in the shoes of others So you could kind of compartmentalize in your mind why you like the other artists. And you don't realize whether people, musicians or not, there's a global respect around artists who put other people on, so we could know that artist through that person, than artists who was more selfish throughout their whole career and didn't even try it. It don't matter if you got a trash homie, you're still going to be more respected. And this why, no matter what, not Uncle Murder, but Tony Ayo. No matter how much Tony Ayo crash out, even if it looked like it's for wrong purposes, you can't hate on Tony Ayo for that, though. You see what I'm saying? And then you always can respect 50 when you separate from his talent because he put somebody else on. That's always going to be global respect. And you rappers need to understand that. I know a lot of y'all be selfish at the moment and stuff like that, but you need to know why you like this certain artist. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big part of it. So if you don't got that, that's going to be a big part of why you ain't liked after a while and stuff like that. Because people who don't make music, they're still seeing it the same way. We all people. You know what I'm saying? Well, not me, but I'm giving y'all from outside looking in, how you supposed to see things, right? Eventually, a person gonna be like, man, you were selfish about something. You know what I'm saying? And last time I checked, we all rode the bikes who ain't had no bike, hopped on the pegs or whatever like that, and we all made sure we got to the basketball court to go ahead and play basketball against the motherfuckers who stay on the next street or who stay on the next block or who stay closer to the basketball court or whatever the case may be. Or we all made sure we get into football practice, or we all make sure we go. You know what I'm saying? Something. This is like a together thing. When you lose those qualities, just because you in a different aspects of life, you still missing the natural qualities that make things what it is, or whatever the case may be. And eventually people start looking at you funny and you don't know why, but it be the meanings or reasons behind things. And this is what God changing. I got to bring God into it. I don't care about y'all, what y'all think, y'all stupid atheists. God is God. That's why. It ain't always got to be physical and all. Everybody God got a concept of being non-corporeal. You can read the Bible right now. They Christian God, Christianity, Spangler God, and stuff like that. They spirit non-corporeal too. You can't see it. You can't see something non-corporeal. All right? So just know everybody, all cultures, all ethnic groups, all races know something about something ain't corporeal, but it's there. Something ain't corporeal, but I know if I think something like it, it make me think better than I know a person who, if they just thought like that, they'd be better. They won't be degenerate or retarded. They won't be just getting out the halfway house. I'm just making that as an example, but y'all saying, shout out to everybody in the halfway house. I don't shame y'all from the hood. I had a brother that was in and out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making jokes, but you know what I'm saying? That's real. So y'all got to understand, man, like just because something ain't right in front of you and something just got it, man. And here's the thing. A lot of times it is right in front of you. You just can't see it. Just can't hear it. You know what I'm saying? That voice ain't always something to hear. That sight ain't always filtered through a vision or something to see. You just got to be ganked up as a spirit. You know what I'm saying? You got to just know. That's real faith. You just know. You ain't even got to say you have faith. You know that's happening. You know that's going on. You know you might not can't explain it and describe it. So you know you shouldn't even be in a situation of trying. It might make matters worse. You put yourself in a situation to be an example for it. And then for the most part, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know God working mysterious ways. You know what I'm saying? That's the best you can say. So for the most part, here's the thing. In the new time that we in right now, we don't sell narratives. We sell or support genuality online, because that's what everybody trying to do for themselves when they get online. See, for an example, we watch online, but let's say a person do get motivated to become a content creator. They're not going to be so enthused seeing videos like it's a dead internet, or there's people shadow banning and stuff like that. That lose motivation. So what makes a person even motivated to get online if we got people trying to get lit online and that's their content? Talking about people getting shadow banned. Like, that's a good thing. That's not good. That don't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So, but beyond that, right, we sell genuality online. This is why the DVD era was so dope, because you're seeing a person in their natural creative space, or seeing an artist doing them without being constructed by agents, which is just copying somebody doing what I'm talking about already, being in their genuine space or whatever the case. So, you know what I'm saying? This is why we get this undercover cop energy from La Russell. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you're psyoping what people are actually doing to get lit themselves. So you're getting funded to do what people are doing to get funded. You can't do that. Before you get fans, you're going to get people thinking you're stepping on their toes. Always remember that. You know what I'm saying? This is a different type of world we in. This is the new Wild Wild West. Before you think your team was like, yeah, this is these people's sentiment, you're going to get everybody who had that sentiment thinking you're stepping on their toes because they're trying to get lit for that sentiment. See what I'm saying? So if you just pop up out of nowhere, that's already going to be a red flag. A person going to think you was funded to represent something that you wouldn't even know unless you probably came across them or whatever the case may be. And if this person ain't about to be funded or supported or whatever, here's where this person, if they're creative enough, will even make it impossible for La Russell to even make it anywhere or whatever the case may be. Because we're in a time right now where us as an audience care more about that person. Me personally, I'm going to care more about that person. I am the audience. So if you hear me say La Russell is an undercover cop, whether he won or not, that's the audience. So if you see La Russell and you see his chat saying, oh, he's dope and people need to figure out about him, no one in real life thinking that. Everybody in real life going to be like them bots. You know what I'm saying? That this is the time we in. Because here's the thing. I make content and I'm the audience. I'm not about to take my page and cater to his sentiment I know he took if I got a page myself. People who watch, this is their social media page. So whether they're, even if they're not content creators or whatever the case may be, they're going to look for someone who's not funded to look like something that they was already watching, who already said what this person was saying last year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this person and this person team just caught up to some person you was already watching and got connected to because they are not psyoped up and forced down your throat. So they got this energy already to not have you in a resistance spirit. So you watch them just as free as you watch anything else in your algorithm. You start seeing this other person pop up in your algorithm, pop up on people you watch, platforms that are already in your algorithm, whatever like that. As soon as they start saying something, the person who ain't just have all that, but you found yourself, that automatically gonna put in your mind of this is payola or whatever. And this is what you artists need to understand. You can't come competing if you ain't a creator. If you're a creator, this brings something new to us, right? When we was teaching the stuff online, you know what Soulja Boy did? He did something with LimeWire that had the website of YouTube and MySpace, and that was something new. And got a deal off that. So what he was doing, just like what everybody else doing now, like I was doing and stuff like that. Everybody ain't doing a podcast, but we just calling things that. Soulja Boy can really say, I'm the first rapper that, y'all say podcast. You see what I'm saying? But we have to learn how to separate that, because if we don't, it will be an award where if Joe Budden don't start having the right type of fight in that area, he'd be competing with people that don't even do what he do, that's actually a podcast and stuff. Then y'all got some type of Grammy situation, disgruntled energies and stuff like that. People out of their mind making who winning. You know what I'm saying? Making the list of who winning and stuff. And what's on the list. Y'all don't need that. Y'all need to start kind of permitting, no, this a talk show. This a podcast. This a radio cast. This a content cast, you know what I'm saying, or whatever like that. This a reviewer cast, this a reporter cast, this a journalist cast. If y'all, that'll make the awards better if y'all came to one. I don't know why YouTube stopped getting involved into having a YouTube award. And do y'all get sponsored by a restaurant, a fast food restaurant or something like that? Then the content creators that's being the face and the billboards for y'all, because we damn sure don't get paid to promote YouTube, but we damn sure bring everybody to YouTube. Who else is watching stuff on YouTube other than people on YouTube? But I don't know why y'all and make YouTube enticing again, because y'all kicking the competition ass so much. Y'all lazy, but if the competition ain't doing nothing, so y'all really ain't got to do nothing, like expand. But we going through a time where it's time to expand too. Like y'all can be kicking ass and creating all new circumstances and stuff like that. Whole YouTube awards. Y'all just got to bring categories back though. I'll say everybody all over the place, and it seems like everybody talking about one thing. Everybody talking about this, or everybody talking about politics, or everybody talking about this specific rapper. Ain't nothing wrong with that though, but the creativity, people ain't fighting for their how to do it. People fighting over the what. What do that mean? Let's say a rapper do something, or something happened in politics. That's the what. People fight over that first. Oh, let me talk about that first. I'll be first in the algorithm, other than the how. You ain't even got to be first to upload every time. If you're you're legit, you're legitimate, your genuality, your idea about it, your complexity. Don't get too lost into the theatrics either. I know a lot of y'all be like, I need this type of camera, I need this phone. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's an add-on too. But like, if your mind ain't right, it don't matter if you got more expensive stuff or just your phone or a computer or whatever like that. Your ideology is retarded. Eventually people will catch on and be like, this is bull crap, and you just wasted your money if you had expensive cameras. But for the most part, if you're in a good position and you're intellectual, you can put out your video a week later. Just like how certain people podcasts is. They do probably 1 or 2 a week or 3 a week or 1 a week or whatever the case may be or whatever. But depending on it, your opinion matters more. Can't wait till you. And matter of fact, that's even built up the energy for us to watch everybody else's views and not even care. All those views get ready to go to yours because you had the most intelligent idea. And it just so happened your podcast on the air a day after it or whatever, or the week after it. You see what I'm saying? Don't have being first in your mind. Have the creator spirit in your mind first. Always have the creator spirit in your mind. So your spirit can be reminded to get in that space of the creator. You know what I'm saying? It ain't the what, it's the how. That always take you further. That take you way further. You get way more respect. Way more respect. But like I said, right? We don't sell narratives right now. We sell support genuality online. So when you genuinely got an opinion, or when something genuinely happened, that's when we attracted to it. Or that's when we really see it. Or that's when we really react. Or that's when, even if it's a rap beef, we really care about it. Or whatever the case may be. Not to say something real has to happen, but it has to be substantiated on real causes first, not made up. Like, let's create a narrative, and because this is the energy that people are in first. Nah, when it's in that energy first, that's what we see. We start reacting and responding to it in a resistant type of way because we aware of something, but everybody just don't know how to explain what we aware of. We aware of this was forced in this spiritual space to be seen. This wasn't naturally there. So for the most part, it puts us into a situation of resistance. Like maybe I don't know about this, and we may not know how to explain it, but for the most part, we just look at it like I don't know or whatever. It don't get as much as energy as the situations that played out from the genuine starting point. So we have to understand that too when it comes into if you want to start your career, if you want to use it, because what we do is how we do it. Everything is a narrative, but what is the ground basis of it? Was it manufactured at a round table, or was it something genuine? Then what can be done with it can be discussed at the round table. When it's in that energy first, that makes it cool. When it's the other energy first, we're looking at it weird. You see what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. This what made the DVD era so dope, because we're seeing a person in their natural creative space and seeing artists doing them without the constructed. For example, right? You're seeing an artist in their space doing their thing, right? Online. You're going to like that video way more than something that was presented. It look like it's forced on you or whatever the case may be. A lot of times you're only going to be able to see those if it's rendered through a platform or another website that broadcasts all these things, like Shade Room or Academics or whatever the case may be. But a person catch steam when they're doing things genuinely, and then they could be a double-edged sword. It's kind of like, even though he was infiltrated, not infiltrated, but he was a agent also, but Charleston White would start making his YouTube pop was his genuine opinions, while still those genuine opinions could start being on Shade Room and stuff like that. Now you can sit back and work on narratives or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? But then when you start to do stuff, then we automatically see you on Shade Room. So let's start looking at it like, oh, that might be for a reason. And it's someone in the world right now that know that reason. They know that you probably seen them, or your team probably seen them. And we care for people like that. That's the person we're going to try to search for. That's the person we're going to look for. We're going to be like, no, this person got that from somebody. Oh, they got this from the sentiment. Oh, they got this from this what they call that? Not survey, but certain themes like that be on Reddit or stuff like that. Oh, they got that from that. This actual person. They trying to psyop that. We got an eye on psyop, basically. So let's keep that in mind. This would throw protesting out the window. That failed Black Panther thing. all it's crash out energy and stuff like that. It ain't even got nothing to do with them. It's the sentiment behind why it was done that got kicked down the road by God before a person even expressed it. So if it was funded, it lost more money than made it. This goes for everything. We all got to watch what we're doing right now. All of us. You know what I'm saying? As individuals. You know what I'm saying? We could be crashing out something that's beyond us and stuff because we just a part of stuff. We got to be careful. But a lot of these artists do see y'all. I mean, do see are doing things. Oh, my bad. So like I said, right? So this would make the DVD era and stuff like that better. And then for the most part, we don't want people like LaRussell and things of that nature trying to psyop these energies, doing things that people are already doing that we watching already. Because a lot of these artists, y'all do see are doing things that the artists or people y'all don't see already doing much better. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to keep that in mind. It's just like sometimes the industry find updated, crafted ways to create an industry plan. So it'll be someone talking the sentiment of some new up and coming artists you're unaware of, and then you will never know them, and then you'll be thinking people like Russ is independent when Russ just psyoped the independent route. See what I'm saying? It's like the industry get crafty at creating industry plans. So you somewhere in your mind, based upon your generation gap, like 5 year to 5 year to 5 year, let's say you between 2016 and 2020 and 2021, you somewhere separating from your mind, Russ ain't an industry plant and he's a representation for someone who know how to do it on their own. The industry got you. They got you. And it's people in the industry that know that. You see what I'm saying? They just don't expect the average individual, which don't put me in that box, but this is how they're considering YouTube and content creators and stuff like that to not know these type of things. You see what I'm saying? And this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all keep playing like that, you're going to crash out. Because there's not too many people can explain what's going on when it comes to what God is doing. All the way down to J. Cole. He can rap as good as he wants. There's some virtual signal energy that got kicked down the road that no matter how good a record he kicked, it's something that it still seems like he can't accomplish over. And the only thing he know how to point at physically is maybe he backed out the beef. No, it goes beyond that though. You know what I'm saying? All the way down to you wasn't thinking right, putting all those battle bars in your songs before the beef, which you should have seen a mile away. You know you ain't ready for no beef like that based upon your basketball college life. So just because you something like a rapper, you think these what rappers do, being one of them college type rappers and stuff. Then when stuff actually hit the fan and it's time to actually put that actual work in with your lyrics, now it's hurting your spirit and stuff like that. If they see you just something like a rapper. So these people who just something like a rapper, like Lil Uzis and stuff like that, all of them, they all in one box. They're doing things that they think rappers do, but they're like their industry plans. You got to think like, ooh, these cats don't even be dudes that really be going corner to corner with their music. These be cats that got signed based upon networking, who they met in college and stuff like that. They got signed like how Travis Scott got signed. So you might be talented amongst your college buddies and who you around that ain't really, you ain't in the hood, or you ain't, even if you're in the suburbs, you ain't that person that you're already known for that. And that is how you're going to come up. Like without that, you won't be able to come up. Y'all got paid for teams and paid for street teams and stuff like that. So it ain't on no spiritual or religious belief. Anything that ain't on spiritual religious belief is going to crash in the end anyway because it's on business. You know what I'm saying? This is how the old militaries start to crash, where all the militaries in today's time is just based off a job. So just they make more narratives than it being real. But everybody in the military know I'm just here. I just got a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but back in the day, it was more predicated on spiritual or religious reasons. So anytime you're doing something that's beyond money, you're going to get the job done good. Anytime something ain't really backed and supported by spiritual or religious beliefs and it's just about money, it's going to be a half-assed job. Even if the money is good up front, the job may look as good as the money that's getting from it supports it for the need, but eventually a person will get tired of it. You know what I'm saying? Because it ain't got that spiritual or religious belief behind it. So it ain't gonna be something that a person get up and do because it's something that they base their life on. It's gonna be something that I'm tired of the money after a while too, if they get too much money from it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep that in mind. And then this is how a lot of y'all clicks, because y'all be like recommended friend clicks, recommended to the studio clicks. So a lot of times that click ain't religion. That click ain't y'all spiritual system or whatever. So it's easy for the audience to get confused and think that these people came up together, not knowing they're industry recommended friendship. And then for the most part, when they crash out, you somewhere complaining as a friend, a fan, or audience, thinking that they're messing up which how you perceive them or something like that. And you ain't no homeboy been fucking other homeboy's baby mama and stuff like that. Man. That's some, you know what I'm saying? They got nothing to do with how you think about it. They don't give a damn about each other like that. It was a good situation. That was as far as it went in their mind. You know what I'm saying? Of other people that they closer to and the industry and setting them up for them to be together and stuff like that. As far as in their mind is, it was a good situation. In your mind, you think they grew up together. One person's supposed to be no matter. They supposed to go through thick and thin together or whatever. Man, you done lost your damn mind. You know, you lost all theatrics. This is wrestling. This is wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing when it comes to trolls for you artists, and if you're not on the payola side, right? Now, when it comes to trolls, and then for the comic content creator that be trying to get that, you might be getting sabotaged like how they try to sabotage me. You gotta troll the troll. First of all, if you're a regular content creator, you have to know specifically who your actual trolls is. If you're an artist or whatever the case, or you're fighting against these things, you're fighting against other artists' payolas and stuff like that, right? So it's a little different game for you. That's why I took off my chat, but everybody already seen everything, and everybody that was coming on my chat, so it ain't nothing I have to repeat. But this is why you can see it being extreme from even trying to dox, talk about my daughter or whatever the case may be, but you still don't see it being that extreme for other artists or other content creators and stuff like that. So you have to be aware of that too. You could be so creative that you actually create strangers to hate you in a certain way, like how they do me, and actually try to sabotage you that no other adults in real life be actually trying to do to people and stuff like that. Like you might actually, there's possibilities to get weirdos online, but people who in it extreme like that, it's easy to figure out who that is in real life. You can't not. That takes a lot of energy or whatever the case. But for the regular audience, and y'all, this is why y'all don't experience being on anybody else chat from the regular person all the way to artists and stuff and see it that extreme how y'all seen it on my page or whatever the case may be. And anytime y'all do see it in little small increments, y'all kind of figure it, oh, that's damage control or whatever the case may be. From one institution seeing another institution crash out who's specifically attacking a content creator and them having to do like a call line to play it out and ease their way out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we already know that as an audience. We already know even when you try to become a content creator, you already know that ain't something we jacking. But at some point, look, when it comes to trolls, you have to troll the troll. This takes the power away from them, and you're able to take your energy back. Because in all actuality, a troll is lost in a belief. They think you is, but no, they're lost in a belief. Whether they believe that you're not never going to know who they is, or whether they believe in their job and whatever that they're doing ain't colonization or whatever, and they like to hurt their own people or whatever, or it's a joke, but they're just lost in a belief that has really nothing to do with reality. See what I'm saying? So for the most part, this takes the power away from them, and you're able to take your energy back while grounding the reality that trolling is lame anyway, taught by colonists. Because here's the thing, you can get so confused, you think that we're outnumbered, like you think it's more of the world doing that. No, like, take it from me, like the content creators is the audience. There is no such thing as separating that, right? There is no real people trolling. And when you have a real troll, they're either a content creator themselves, and they're not a troll at that point because it's an actual opinion based upon the subject matter. So y'all are involved as peers in a subject matter that calls for debate or whatever the case may be. That's not really even technically trolling. That's how YouTube actually used to be when it was fruitful. So you will see another content creator feeling comfortable to be in other content creators' chats or comments. When you got the agents and the industry start trying to colonize online, they try to control the narrative and use all these routes of doing it. it took us out the game. But they fail to realize they don't have no audience. But they didn't think about it that way, which leads us to today, inflation. They got to inflate whatever that they're doing. But at some point, you're not taking somebody's audience. There is no audience for you. There is no audience for replacing people that people watching. Who is your audience? You see what I'm saying? That don't make no sense. You can't make an audience out of that. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So like people have to stop that. But for an example, but like I said, for one, a troll has to be in a position of generalizing a platform with the content creators on it as if the platform signed them to a deal, like the platform, a record label or a movie deal or something like that. When in reality, you're in someone's business, personal page that you don't support, and you're trying to sabotage on a personal level because these are people's social media personal pages, not some corporation full of people. So trolling online creates personal issues, not generalized business issues. So just because people make businesses out of their personal pages, which is why online is trying to be colonized right now, but just because people make business out of their personal pages doesn't mean trolling them is purely platonic or germane to what a troll think they're doing. See, trolls think they're doing like sabotaging, and everybody online or whatever the case. No, you're on people who built themselves up with them, their family, and them friends, just for them to be the individual or with their family, friends, and associates to be online. So if we all adults, I'm not an adult that's getting ready to go in somebody else's chat that's doing the same thing I'm doing in their own way, right? And let's say they try to get monetized or something, and I'm going to troll them because it's something I don't like what they're doing. I'm an adult. So even if I don't make content, I'm not going to do that. So people who do that, we're in a different time. You're in a mind state thinking you're going to convince somebody's audience, but we are the audience. You make yourself look crazy or whoever programming things to do that. Me as an audience don't want to go on somebody's page and see them getting trolled and spammed. So whoever program a bot to do that, or whoever hate institution CIA group or these little nigger colleges and stuff like that, right? Group up and think that's funny. It is not funny to people who's watching that person. But what other mind state is y'all in to do that if you're not convinced that you think whatever you're doing is going to take that person's audience away, or y'all playing with their numbers or whatever the case may be? That is not what's going to happen. You see what I'm saying? It's going to make more people either become content creators to speak against that, and anything that came with won't be able to survive in any other area or whatever the case may be. And everybody says that, from their aunties to everybody. I live in the hood. Don't nobody want to get on somebody's page, and this is the only conversation we have. Is this somebody? They trying to sabotage this person? Because I'm not about to sit here and think this is funny. I'm a grown ass person, and I'm getting ready. I'm like, this is stupid. I'm getting ready to go to work. Like, this is how people think. But whatever the mind state the troll in, you're crashing out what y'all doing. Y'all not crashing out a person. And then anything that's being inflated that the industry is trying to present to us is not going to have no audience. So y'all only going to be paying and inflating. You know what I'm saying? And having to pay for people that y'all already got as agents to make y'all think that they hip-hop people that they hip-hop content creators or whatever the case may be, and make them crash out to the point that y'all paying them for no reason. They're not in tune. So for the most part, is that there's a clear energy sentiment. And you either come in that light or you come in this light. There is no ifs, ands, buts about it. You see what I'm saying? So let's give some examples at this moment of how artists may not know how this is making them crash out, but it is. Paid trolls made Lil Pump think we care about his opinion. Now we shall see a crash out from him. Paid trolls made Lil Uzi fans think Ebro was wrong about what he said to think what he said to Lil Uzi on Hot 97 or whatever the case may be. But paid trolls is making people think that. So if an agent online trying to making up a narrative saying that Ebro was wrong, no one from the hood think that or whatever the case may be. Lil Uzi ain't about to sell no records. Tell Lil Uzi to drop an album right now. He ain't about to sell no records. And if they say Lil Uzi sold 300,000 records, he paid for that narrative to be out there. Like J. Cole paid for that narrative. You have some people in the industry where their label and their payola amount, right, allows them to have those type of payola routes than certain artists that you probably like that don't got access to. That's a real thing. You could have a certain artist stature where some of your payola go towards optics and narratives to news networks to claim you sold gold or to claim you went platinum in hopes that it get there based upon that optic. And you have certain artists that don't have a large amount of budget to pay towards those things. For anybody in the industry to be talking about anything, there's a payola. So for people to talk about record sales, that's a payola. So that have been infiltrated. The industry been came up with the idea. We can tell people that this person sold this many records and put this person on as many platforms to create the optics to make it look like that. And hopefully it start to build up that way. So a lot of artists y'all have been told went platinum and diamond that was told that for them just to get the gold. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people that y'all was told went gold just barely got to 100,000. You see what I'm saying? And they be hoping these things lead up in reality based upon the optic. And every artist don't be having that. So you're saying, so you'll be having a song that everybody clearly spent more money on or clearly burnt more, like off LimeWire or whatever, like how we used to do or whatever, or on a burnt CD, and clearly, or could sell it of mixtapes throughout the hood that clearly know that alone means something sold more or something is hotter, right? But through the optics of the industry, if that person got a deal, it'd be made throughout the optics. Oh, that was a person street single. Oh, that was their underground record. But this was the record that was actually hot. And in a lot of cases, more so than often, it ain't. No, it ain't. That's industry optics. That was the record they funded for a video and put on the radio in hopes to get there. That street record actually sold more records, actually had this person's name out there more, and actually put these people in people's faces as the deal that they just got to. And don't be listening to it. That's why a lot of times y'all be thinking rappers be richer than they actually is. This is like a psyop thing. You know what I'm saying? Look, also, but yeah, we're not about to sit up here and act like what Ebro said ain't right. Rappers you need to go up there and show rappers you are versatile, no matter if you are just in your own pocket. Even if you just try, don't totally hate on something. So it is rappers going up there trying to be like, I can rap on this and I can rap on old school beats. That make you double sword. Even if you just try, you sound terrible. You're not in a negative spirit already. And then having your opinion. You're in a positive spirit, and then your opinion or your action always gonna be more in a relatable and sync energy. So even if you was trash, you're gonna have this grace energy where somebody gonna be like, at least you fought, at least you rap, or not even have you in a conversation. So when it's time for you to stumble across gold, you also ain't got no tainted energy, or something. You know what I'm saying? This was like, rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. This would separate him from Lil Yachty, right? Rich Homie Quan tried to rap Biggie lyrics and he messed it up. But here's the thing. He also wasn't somewhere disrespecting Biggie Small's time zone of music or whatever. So when it was time for him to stumble across other gold and he had a song where people could be like, damn, Rich Homie Quan kind of floating on this song a little bit. He ain't got to worry about being tainted. He could fully go into it. He ain't got to worry about people throwing up. Oh, but remember he was on stage with Biggie. Even if a person from New York every now and then push that, it ain't large enough on a percentage scale to block him fully reaching a maximum percentage. Now, Lil Yachty on the other end, even if he do want to rap on an old school beat or whatever, or he don't, or let's say if he stumble across gold, he got tainted energy now. And we might go through another golden area where people want to hear old school beats, but with 808s on it now. This is what I'm bringing. You know what I'm saying? With bass on it now. And so it ain't dried out. It's like it's like it's dope or whatever the case may be. And now this some new gold you can't stumble on. You're going to try it. No matter how good you is, people going to be bringing up, oh, but when you hating on hippity hop and mixing years up, that was in the 70s. That wasn't the old school what you talking about in the 90s. I said, so what are you even talking about? You know what I'm saying? You got to hear that now. It's tainted because you was in a negative spirit before presenting something. Same like Lil Uzi. He was in a negative spirit first. He could have rapped on it or just could have been like, oh, I just do my thing. He sit there and tried to make it an effort. So, you know, he had handlers and agents around him saying, yeah, make sure this, because we need everybody to be girly with nail paint on or whatever and call it rock stars. And we're really just old Mormons and pilgrim energy and stuff like that, where they made the first hoodies to rob our lands. And they stole our lands. Put your man at too. But like I said, right, but for the most part, a lot of these cats don't know. They're trying to be the leaders of something, copying pilgrim culture. You know what I'm saying? That's all they doing. So they start using the one eyeballs all the time and stuff like that. So they about to, you're going to lose fans too using that eyeball stuff because fans don't know why they don't like something. But once you start doing this what made Meek Mill fall off. Meek Mill starts doing eyeball stuff too much. He started having album covers or something like that, whatever. Lost the streets. Now, he don't know why he lost the streets. He might be somewhere thinking, well, maybe I got to do this, that, and third. No, you're doing something that got your mind on a different train of thought. And the actions that come from it go beyond you. You don't know where it come from. You don't know a lot that come from colonist energy. And back in the day, that the people that's using it now don't even know what they're doing and losing their industry and losing what to do and being uncreative or whatever. At that time where that was creative, they don't even got the spirit of being creative anymore. So you start doing eyeball stuff and let's say you got an album cover and you got a face on there and you got the mouth looking like British cotton crown and then you got X's on the eyeballs or something like that. All right, you with the industry. That's like, all right, nobody care about that. You know what I'm saying? We doing stuff that ain't got nothing to do with it and you have to copy us. That already make it lose water. You know what I'm saying? Already make it lose flame or whatever. Because what make people hot ain't these things. So when you got to do these things to think you're making yourself hot, you just some demon doing something that ain't got nothing to do with what got you a deal. Like, what got you a deal? You want to think about none of those things. You want to think about having no eyeball on your coat. You know what I'm saying? You want to think about having your this in the picture like that. You want to think about none of that. You want to think about no crown. You want to think about nothing. Somehow that's what got you God's gift. Soon as you start doing demonic stuff and because the money and blind you, you don't know that's what it is. God kicked that can way down the road. So as soon as y'all start doing that too much, that's what make you fall off. It ain't got nothing to do with what it made you do as a demon, put nail polish on or something like that or whatever. It ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just that itself. So you're going to have to let your clique support you. Let them pay for other people that they pay for to talk about you. Real people and God people ain't about to talk about you. You're just about to lose energy. God ain't messing with all that stupid stuff. But let's check this out. Paid Trolls is trying to convince people Drake got a classic album, but then Jadakiss somehow got to be questioned. Which, me personally, I don't think Jadakiss got a classic album by himself. But if we going to lower the bar and consider Drake having a classic or even being in a discussion, then we would have to say Kiss the Game Goodbye by Jadakiss as a classic. Or something wrong with hip-hop if we're actually going to sit here and consider and create optics and narratives around Drake having a classic over Jadakiss having a classic in history. So we about to allow 5, 7, 10 years to pass of Drake having a classic in history, but Jadakiss not having a classic in history. So, like I said, personally, I don't think Jadakiss, you still got some time, but currently, good rapper, you don't got a classic. But here's what I'm saying. I don't lower the bar either. If Jadakiss don't got no classic, Drake damn sure don't got no effing classic. And that's final. I don't know what the hell y'all talking about or whatever the case may be. So we get ready to say Drake got a classic, then Kiss the Game Goodbye, Jadakiss got a classic or whatever the case may be. So if any person into hip hop trying to say Jadakiss ain't got no classic, you better not bring up Drake. You don't make no goddamn sense. The hip hop, something wrong with hip hop. There have been too much narratives. The industry getting good at new Milli Vanillis. This optic being changed. This goddamn pole shift being changed and stuff like that, and things of that nature, to the point that too many safe pockets for faulty arguments can be created and stuff like that. But nah, Yeah, goal shift, pole shifting the goalposts and stuff like that. It's all over the place. It used to be a football field, and you got this goalpost and this goalpost. Right now, you can fit 3 football fields, and the amount of goalposts has been changed. You know, so you got 3 football games running at one time, and one stadium built around it and stuff like that. The Denver, Colorado Broncos in this area, you got them New York Green Bay Packers and stuff in this area, all this type of the goddamn Cleveland Buccaneers over there. Everybody playing at one time instead of the way to how much the goalposts be moved. It's gonna be hard for any hockey player to play a game. How much the goalposts be moved and stuff like that. They on ice. They're like, we keep moving the goalposts. We can't win. You know what I'm saying? Real stuff. We got to stop changing the goalposts. Or y'all gonna have to inflate to. We're gonna have to start thinking 20,000 records is a person going platinum. Because this is where we going. This is where we go. We're gonna have to start making a new we're gonna be lost in this optic, this filtering system, this goalpost change. Somehow a person just sold 20,000 records. They on top of the game right now. No. I sold 20,000 records. And I ain't nobody. So we ain't about to do all that. Nah. We ain't about to do all that. Nah. We ain't about to do all that. So like I said. So paid trolls trying to convince us. Trying to convince people that Drake got a classic album or whatever the case may be. When Jadakiss got one then. You know what I'm saying? Or something wrong with hip hop. And we actually gonna sit here and create the optics and narrative that Drake having a classic album over Jadakiss in history. I wonder what DMX have to say about that. Oh, I'm saying. I wonder what Soulja Boy got to say about that. Drake. Oh, better that. Now, paid trolls got no one in reality though. But paid trolls got no one in reality thinking a rapper that need reference tracks and extreme ghostwriters is still considered a great. Now they get online and try to change the optics and filtering system, so now we think a person with reference tracks is worse than ghostwriting. But both. They got them thinking that what a person, as long as a good track to who? Who said that was a good track? And just because if we considering something of an optics of what it means to be a good track, doesn't mean the artist, the Milli Vanilli, get the credit and still deserve to be in certain conversations. No, you just a good industry plant that stumbled across a rock and a sleep energy across us a few times. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But who the ghostwriter though? I'm waiting on their song. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all ain't promoting them? You know what I'm saying? Because they probably somewhere feeling like their life being wasted. And all that talent, they could be the face on that album cover or whatever the case may be. This stuff we care about in today's time. I don't care about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. The moment if y'all trying to say Drake, if you reading this is too late, a classic, I don't care about what Drake getting ready to rap. I want to hear what Quentin Miller and The Weeknd get ready to drop. I don't care. You see what I'm saying? I think like that. Everybody from the hood think like that. I don't know what y'all think like. And y'all ain't about to create no optics or you seen as an agent online. Y'all ain't tough like that, man. Y'all ain't hard. Y'all not even hustlers. Y'all not creative, nothing. Y'all can't steer no narrative. An agent is coming from a copying. You got to copy real people doing what we already doing already. So you don't think you can change our mind either. You know what I'm saying? You can't change our mind. Now, but for the most part, but this is what they trying to do or whatever. They trying to make the optics, but paid trolls got no one in reality thinking a rapper that need reference tracks and extreme ghostwriters is still considered a great. But this is what they try to push at least and shadow everyone that sound like me. They try to shadow ban everybody that sound like me, but the result ain't gonna lead into y'all record sales, guaranteed. Because there's only people like me buying it. There's only females like me buying it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all talking about. Now, paid trolls got y'all thinking Kendrick Lamar. Because here's the thing, I'm a content creator. Y'all probably got a lot of y'all agents, because I already got some attached to me, but y'all probably got a lot of y'all watching me right now. Like, yeah, we got to shut him up or whatever. Well, I am the audience. I'm the buyer. What the hell are you talking about? Y'all getting lost online. Let me repeat. YouTube ain't a record label, ain't a movie corporation that signed people. It's people on here on their own volition. So when you watching content creators, it's just like you watching somebody that's an audience who don't make content. So content creators ain't doing nothing but speaking for the audience. Because we are the audience. We not in y'all industry. So all that y'all in secret competition with content creators is retarded. Creating that dead online or whatever the case. Y'all fighting with yourselves, crashing out. All y'all doing is destroying y'all audience. Y'all just destroying y'all recoup. Y'all destroying y'all abilities and exposing what y'all do to people that watch y'all. I don't know how y'all separate content creators from audience. It's a person that's the audience that built themselves up to become content creators. Duh. Like duh. Like y'all slow. Y'all slow. Y'all would sit here and crash out and shadow ban a content creator, then sit up here and try to present something to the audience like we all about to jump onto that. You just threw the content creator back into the audience with all the audience who ain't content creators. All you did was motivate other people who would be in the comments to be content creators, because they about to be like, I ain't about to be in this cat comments. This chat fake. This is a bot. Nah, I'm about to get my opinion about stuff and stuff. That's all y'all motivating. Stop crashing out. But for the most part, here's another thing. Paid trolls got y'all thinking Kendrick Lamar is some top rapper everybody look for good rap and hip hop, which is false. And also paid trolls got y'all thinking Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Drake is in people's top 3. And here's the thing. Like my top 3 still don't go past the early 2000s. And this is not an age thing, because I'm in limbo. I'm between the new people and y'all old people. So this is not an age thing. It's purely off talent. People today is trash. Ain't no trying to, well, Lil Uzi still here, Lil Pump still here. No, they the same age and they old as fuck. They 30. So even at 25, they was nothing like Tupac. They was nothing like Method Man at that age. They was nothing like Red, and they made goofy music too. Busta Rhymes made goofy music, and you still see the clear separation of creativity and who's an industry psyop. It's just they're untalented. They're not creative to be able to be the champions of hip hop right now, because they industry plants, and y'all industry tactics don't work in this new shift. So don't go ahead and keep funding y'all old tactics thinking it's going to work in this new shift. Either make these monkeys be creative, or they're forced to compete with people who don't got as much money as them. So they money going to slow up, and they going to go from high class, and the low class is going to slowly go up, and then middle class is going to be the only boundaries, because it's like a limbo at this moment. You see what I'm saying? So paid trolls made everybody think Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Drake, and one of them saying it make them think that they top 3. But here's the thing, right? You can't say, you can say that they are for the new age, because the people will say, well, they the top for the new age, because if you compare them to the mumble gibberish rappers and them for the new age, no, they're in my age group. No, there's not no new age, nothing. Here's the thing, right? You could say that they might be the top 3 for the new age, but that's false. All their peers are better than them, and they feel like that too. Everybody who came out around J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar and Drake, Tom, we can name 5 rappers that's better than them right now. So it ain't got nothing to do with your peers got to be saying you the best. When Jay-Z was going in and out of something like that, they was fighting for who the best. So it was a clear separation of, oh yeah, Nas and Jay-Z, they going at it. Nas may have won, but Jay-Z still the best. Nas still the best right now. You know what I'm saying? This person's still the best right now. Or this person, you know what I'm saying? There's a clear separation. And Kendrick, Drake, y'all, when y'all be trying to say top 3, their peers don't think that. They peers do not think that. And they audience don't either. They audience. See, this is what get me. Y'all is retarded. Like, these is like some new type of backpack rappers or whatever the case may be. All their peers are better than them and feel like it too. And this new age y'all speak of, the claim that they the top 3 of, are the audiences that put Playboy Cardi in that list, Lil Uzi in that list, Future in that list, Kid Cudi in that list, right? They lost in different type of optics that we need categories, bruh. And shout out to Future. This ain't got nothing to do with that. For an example, right? The list y'all claiming, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, and Drake is in or whatever. This is the same list these cats themselves put Lil B in. Lil B and Tyler, the Creator. Man, they all trash. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like, y'all, it ain't got nothing to do with if a person want to make the argument about well, in this new age, Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole is the top three and everybody else is trash. No, they trash too. Nobody in the hood think that. They all trash. And they peers think they trash too. The moment you got Kendrick and J. Cole and you got Lil B running around thinking he better than y'all and y'all respect him like that, y'all all trash. You see what I'm saying? That's trash. That audience actually, you see what I'm saying? That audience actually don't count or paid for or is paid for. We talking about a crowd that think Lil B and Odd Future is dope. Ask Kendrick Lamar right now. He think Lil B and Odd Future is dope. You probably got something in your mind to try to justify it. It ain't got nothing to do with the actual music. It got something else to do with something else. Somebody ate a roach. Somebody wore tight little jeans on and called himself a bitch. It got something else with that. It ain't got nothing to do with that Masonic shit that they used to do to the Native Americans. That it's I don't even want to get into all that. But just that, if you want to know that Illuminati stuff, this is a different word for industry. And you had some people who did it extreme, so you could tell who handlers is part of the colonists that did something to my people, right? And then you could tell who just don't know what they're doing, and they just a good puppet because of their mind frame, or they might be fruity a little bit, or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, or who the backpack rapper, who the safe person right now, so we can get the streets people out the way. You know what I'm saying? So the streets people don't get funded no more, so they can change their life. But that audience don't count. That audience don't count. We talking about people who think Lil B and Odd Future is dope, other than for shock value. And if you was doing something like them, you were doing other things other than the music, and that was the optics people got caught in. That we could say is a blinding energy right now, where you may conflate that with that being good music. If you did a shock value thing, no, we could say, okay, this person was creative or they brought a shock value. We're not about to say the music itself. No, you know what I'm saying? Even if you want to say Tyler the Creator rap good, his subject matter is trash. I don't care about how good you can rap about screwing the last bolt on your skateboard. I'm cool with that. And I don't care about your opinion about hip hop either when you're trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's just simple as that. So for the most part, it's just trash. We got to start setting standards. We gotta start setting standards. So for the most part, and those were direct industry plants. People like Lil B and Future. So those were direct industry plants to directly disrespect hip hop. And then you'll have people that's the watered down backpack rapper industry plant like Kendrick Lamar. Since he in the industry is like payola. You only gonna hear them. It's almost like agents online. If you see one agent page using AI or their real page, the people that they psyoping, even my page, they're only going to shout them out or try to debate with them. You know what I'm saying? So it's payola. They already know what's going on behind closed doors before they present it to us being an audience, so we can look at these things like it's obvious and y'all crashing out or whatever the case may be and trying to steal. So for the most part, it's like that. You'll hear Kendrick Lamar try to say, or you'll hear Joe Rogan try to say Lil B is dope. They got paid to say that. Or if they truly feel like that, they're building relationships in the industry. So it has somebody in the industry who built relationships who know Lil Yachty is trash, but to sit there and be like, oh, I like Lil Yachty, he's a nice guy. And Lil Yachty is trash though. That don't separate him from being trash. You know what I'm saying? That just puts you in the spotlight of you protecting other things beyond the music. He might got a good networking system. He did something for other people or his label or something like that. He did this type of favor or whatever the case may be. So he did something the right way, the way the industry look at it. So it allows you to not say it's trash, even if he wrote something for some chicks and it was a hit. It was trash still though. It ain't like it was some good bar. It was just trash. So is we counting on he dope because it sold, or we know payola is involved and they probably ain't even sell that much either? Or where they at now? Where are they now? No, I said for real. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that. Lil Yachty got a podcast, and that's it. And that's all you need to know. Something his writing ain't that important behind closed doors. There's something else this handler's telling them he need to do. You know what I'm saying? They might can't fund that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So y'all don't hear what y'all talking about and shit like that. So for the most part, these is new industry plants that was put in to actually disrespect hip hop. And then you got people that's another watered down industry plant to play out what hip hop's supposed to look like. And they'd be sitting there getting payola to shout out the people that they know behind closed doors is put there to disrespect hip hop. People like Lil B and other shit like that, right? And for example, right, and Kendrick Lamar is like the Far Side, which are dope. artists. The Far Side, that was dope artists at that time, right? Like 92 or something like that, right? But let's make a clear separation, right? There was no Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre and the Chronic. There was no Gang Starr and DJ Premier. There was no Redman. There was no Pete Rock and CL Smooth. There was no Ghetto Boys and Scarface. You get what I'm saying? There was no DJ Quick, and Quick is the name. So let's get so this is why you still know them and you can go back to those songs, but goddamn it, Far Side you got to be in some nostalgia energy to go back and listen to She Keep On Passing Me By. So that's just like how you probably feel with Kendrick Lamar's song of Cut You Off or Money Trees or whatever the case may be. But let's make a clear separation. Rap, her rap, and then what was rap. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. We know who was industry plants and stuff like that at the time. African Bambaataa and them, they psyoped the street rappers, Big Daddy Kane and them, or whatever. Then got everybody in this fight to power, and there now you got the whole jail system now getting big and getting rich. And Flavor Flav somewhere on VH1 or something like that ain't experiencing what he rapped about and told y'all to go out and do. You see what I'm saying? So it's like y'all got the people how I be psyop things going on. Y'all said they'll create a psyop real quick to take your mind off the people that's actually doing it like you and trying to change your life and stuff like that because of their weird beliefs in religion or whatever. You got to be careful out here. But we online right now. And once upon a time, there was a saying, there's nothing new up under the sun. We got online right now. So with God being in charge and stuff like that, it's possibilities to see it is something new up under the sun. Welcome to my channel, DoelowDaPilotman. You on a spaceship flying around, goddamn beyond Star Trek. Or, you know what I'm saying? These stuff new up under the sun. You know what I'm saying? I just don't be knowing what's like. Yeah, this was new species and stuff, new bacteria, new parasites. But this is just a learning lesson for all of us. If you're in a big position, if you're in a corporate position, if you're in an agent position, if you're in an artist position, if you're in the team position, right? If you're in a content creator position, right? Do your 1-2 and be more on the creative side. And that becomes the meaning behind something. And also, you play out these energies that we also see that play out in other areas that we can also make sense out of, right? Doing that play out in other areas where we be considering, oh, this person is the underdog. When you're doing something genuine and it don't look like you're getting funded to psyop somebody doing something genuine. You know what I'm saying? You got those qualities that play out in that area where you can't call it underdog, but you get the same results because it's coming from the essence energy of where that underdog energy come from and got created just because it's steered and directed and filtered in a certain other area of life that we do creativity in. And things of that nature that we made popular, like the music industry or movie industry or whatever. So that underdog quality gets you ahead. But that come with context. The underdog is built up because you projecting what we all do, but what you're projecting is the reflection of the position everybody else is in. And if it's more of the world that's in that position and not in a position of being able to use payola, then you're always going to have the crowd. You're always going to have the people because it's only 10% of that little small behind closed doors who know that they're using a payola. See what I'm saying? So you have to understand that the person using the payola, the way that they express themselves that they may not be paying attention to will never be in the same light of the person who's making their decisions coming from the basis of the common individual that's 90% of the world that don't have access to these things. So you're forced to come up with the natural creativity to be in these positions. See what I'm saying? So that's one. Be careful on taking shortcuts in this new world where it's the new wild, wild west. You're jumping in the middle of the mosh pit of everybody in that space of having to build their creativity off their own volition. You could be stepping on toes you ain't even know, thinking that you're doing all the right things to do to present yourself and appear a certain way and to replace something in a world that everybody is coming up with new things to already get there. So you could be someone that had old world tactics, applying it in a new world that would crash out everything that you have accumulated from the old world. And then you're just not looked at as no one else. I mean, you're looked at as nobody now. You're looked at just like everybody else. And then what you're going to do? Use inflation? That's actually going broke, where you could just start over or whatever. So you're not spiritually broke. That'll manifest into becoming physically broke. And therefore, you just have to lower your own ego. Get out of expectation. Stop caring about if you're going to sell as many records as you did before. Stop caring about if you're going to get the same attention as you're going to get before. Stop caring if you're going to get the same amount of people at the comedian show that you did before, or that movie or whatever. And now when you're working hard, all that new stuff without that expectation, now you're in the world of building that new audience that actually care about it. And you actually could be in a position where you could start your own industry based upon whatever format God get ready to give you, as you being in that space with all of us now, stimulating creativity on your own volition. Get back into your goddamn creator spaces. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Not the people against me. Change y'all lives. But everybody that's down to earth and everybody that's spiritual and everybody that's trying to take care of themselves and their family and stuff like that ain't got time to be getting blocked by stupid stuff, right? I love y'all. And be spiritually protected. Flight boss, bitch, for sure. Y'all now listen to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. Rectus Swahil, hold that yellow hoop. Massasoit, Mama the toy. Masasaki, Masasaki. Woo!